Hey, listen to Commander Cookout Podcast, episode 490. I'm Brando. I'm here with Ryan, and we're going to talk about the impact of the recent rule changes. Now, in our theme song! Hey, Ryan. We're back for yet another whirlwind adventure. How you doing?
Good. What is going down?
Man, my ability to do those intros is going down, isn't it? Holy shit, that was not good.
So good. So good.
But there is other things going to go down. We're going to finish off our conversation from last week talking about the implications of the changes to the bracket system and some new game changers and stuff. Did they miss anything? What happens to our decks? All that kind of gimmick. We're going to got some stories to tell. We got some people to thank. But before we get to any of that stuff, we have to thank our official business daddies over at FusionGamingOnline.com. They are your source for all your gaming needs, where you can use extra super duper special promo code CCONation to save yourself 5% off all the stuff that you're going to buy anyway, possibly in preparation to come hang out with us in Vegas. Probably?
Yep.
I was going to say probably and properly at the same time, but also probably people are going to want new cards coming up. Final Fantasy's on its way. You're going to want to save some money on that. So we're helping you do that. CCO Nation over at FusionGamingOnline.com. You can also get Dyson boxes and secret layers and mats and
all the stuff,
posters and all that shit you could possibly want.
Yeah.
We also want to send a big shout out to our good friends over at Pile of Bones Brewing Co. They are the second coolest thing to come out of Regina, as well as being the official refreshment sponsor for CCO Sidewalk Slam! Season 3, Episode 4, recording in May, for release right here on YouTube.
That's it. Yeah, very much so. And big thanks goes out to producer Gary from the Dufferin Avenue Media Network Studio. Dufferin
Avenue Media Network.
There it is. Yeah, we're here. We are finishing our conversation about the recent game changers and band list update. Band list update and generally the kind of 10,000 foot view of the format and what it means, like going into the spring, into Vegas, what we can and what maybe you out in CCO Nation can maybe expect, right? Based on our experience, our gameplay being in the community, both local and online. So the first thing that I kind of wanted to do, though, is give you a little update on the CCO experience Las Vegas. Because I know that people out there that are coming, because you're a Patreon supporter, over at patreon.com/CCO podcast, you want the update too. Not everybody checks and follows the Discord as often or as closely as they ought to.
Well, I mean, they could. It's a great community filled with really cool people.
Yeah, very much so, yeah. And, of course, if you're a patron, you get invited to the CCO experience. You get the exclusive merch that's going to be there. You've seen it. You like it.
I do.
Still forgot to show producer Gary, but that's okay. That's okay. House is booked.
Oh, baby.
House is booked, and let me hit you with this.
It's real life.
Let me hit you with this.
It's happening.
Yeah, this is what we about, okay? Okay. It's got enough beds for everybody.
Oh, that means nobody has to sleep on the floor.
Yes, that's very important. That's why I booked this house.
Excellent.
But bonus, or in addition to enough beds, it has 2 stoves in its big-ass kitchen.
Okay.
So all filler, no chiller, killer Miller and Jared Sink Guy can cook like 7,000 chili tacos for us.
Love chili tacos.
Cute. Our house is going to smell cute. It's got a pool.
It's going to smell cute.
It's got a pool.
Okay.
It's got air hockey.
Ooh.
Foosball. It's got a living room with leather couches where me and Rusty Trom Jones are going to watch the Stanley Cup final.
Oh.
Well, you're welcome to. You can come.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and drink beer there, of course.
Ooh.
It has an open flippy.drinky stadium.
You mean it has a room with a pool table in it?
Yes.
Oh, sick.
Billiards table. Yes.
Yes,
yes.
okay.
Yeah, pool table. And here's the thing. It has a frickin' Street Fighter 2 arcade in it.
Go!
So shit. I was thinking about bringing a box of Jumpstart to do a Jumpstart tournament because I know that that's your favorite thing.
You can Jumpstart right into the pool.
I know that's your favorite, absolute favorite thing.
Yep.
But instead, maybe we have a Street Fighter 2 tournament.
Sick.
That would actually be sick.
That would be fun.
That would actually be sick. Yeah. So that's the house update. The merch is going to get ordered. There's exclusive t-shirts coming out. I took the liberty of assuming that you want one.
I do.
So I'm going to get you one.
Cool.
And we'll have that. And there's going to be some new merch, some new stickers and stuff. So if you're in Las Vegas or at MagicCon Las Vegas, June 19th to 22nd, come find us. We'll be wearing all our CCO stuff. And hopefully, like we always do, we have an area with all of the CCO nationalites all jamming Magic and drinking beer and hanging out, having a gay old time.
I hope we get to play outside again. That was my favorite.
I
know that probably won't happen because
Yeah.
that was a consequence of them trying to pay for the play areas.
Yes.
But that was really cool. We
Also,
hung
that-
out in the shadow of the building and played
Yeah.
outside.
Also, that was in October. Remember, it was a little bit cooler then. We're going in June. It's going to be hotter than the devil's ball sack.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your point?
Well, some of us with see-through skin, like your good friend Ryan,
Oh, yeah.
we get sunburned.
Oh,
Yeah.
wear a jacket.
No.
I've seen people wear jackets in Vegas. I don't understand it.
Nope.
But I know people do it.
No, not doing it. Okay, so that's the CCO experience update.
Oh, sick.
If you want to get part of that, become patron.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
If not patron, but are going to be there anyway, of course, find us. We'll play with you. It's going to be super fun.
Yes. Last thing about Vegas, I will have a full binder chocked full of new Altered Magic cards.
Ooh.
And they need to find new homes, aka they can't come back with me because I don't want to bring them back. So come and find me. We'll make a deal.
If you don't make a deal on them, I'm throwing it in the pool before we go back to the plane.
I don't want that to happen either.
There you go. So
So-
you help them out
Help out your good friend Ryan. Yes.
directly into the pool. I'll even go with it. I'm not afraid.
I seen it.
I'm going to go into the end where I can still touch the bottom, though.
Oh yeah, and he's the short one, remember? So probably
It'll be the shallow end. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's probably still deep enough to get a binder wet.
That's it. Okay, unbannings.
Unbannings.
Here's the thing: we last week covered all of the new game changers. We
did.
covered the unbannings, and have you seen any of the unbanned cards yet in the week or two since its thing?
No.
None. You haven't seen anybody play Gifts Ungiven?
Nope.
You haven't seen any Sway of the Stars?
No.
Oh, good thing. Good thing. Have you seen any new game changers or played with any? Oh, you have, because you told yesterday in the pre-show your food chain story.
Yeah, I did. I did see a food chain in my own hand. I did not play it. If you want to hear the full story, do check out the pre-show.
Yep.
But so I have seen a couple of the new game changers show up.
Any other experience with game changers conversations at the Coachman licensed beverage room?
Not at the Coachman licensed beverage room, but at EDH&M as a whole.
Yes.
There are a couple of new, like, maybe trios of people.
Okay. Like
That are-
like friends that are coming to play out in the wild?
Yeah,
Oh.
that are showing up that I haven't played with them. I haven't sat with them or talked to them yet, but
Fuck,
like
do they need beat up?
probably.
Okay.
But I feel like they're newer players, which is good, and they talk loud, which is also good because I can eavesdrop on everything they say. So I've been doing that because that's what responsible journalists like myself do,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, Gary says yes.
Yeah,
So
he knows.
What I've been listening to, they have their bracket conversations, I think, are a little bit, and this isn't a burn on them if they're watching, a little less nuanced than ours, in that they are still of the level where it's like, oh yeah, that card costs $50. Of course it's super powerful.
Oh.
Right? So there's
yeah.
still that whole pay to win mentality, but also
They expect Magic cards to be cheap. You'd see us laughing if you're watching on YouTube.
which it should be.
Yeah.
But the point is, I have been hearing a little bit more about it, and they've been taking it fairly seriously.
Oh,
Like
good.
like a relief. Like, I'm really glad that Worldly Tutor went up there because like I had one and I was really nervous to play it. I didn't want to wreck it. It's worth a lot of money.
And now I don't play it.
And now I'm not going to play it because it's Game Changer.
Oh.
Like to just stay away from Game Changers. This is what these new people are doing.
I don't hate that. Stay away from game changers. Here's some of the negative space about game changers is when you put a game changer in your deck, and I don't care what deck it is. I don't care if it's the only one in there. It's what you're doing is limiting theoretically the places you can play that deck. We talk about it all the time. I don't play my most powerful deck. Not even like never mind CEDH. I don't play my most powerful deck because like maybe I just squash everybody every game who's trying to play casual. And game changers and the bracket matchmaking system are a rules set that limits where I play my decks
That's right.
as part of the frickin' rules. I love that. I love it. I've been saying it since the start. I like the system.
And I do that too, where I have
So-
I have a solid fucking one that just cleans house at once, and I have a hard time playing that sometimes.
To that end, we do have a theme deck, a one theme deck that we probably should update. The All Game Changers deck got 20 new cards. So get the
yeah.
list. Get the list updated there, Zoidy J. Put it in the Discord.
That's gonna be
I'm
tricky.
actually encouraged to hear that players that at least you think are new
yep.
or seem new.
Yeah, they seem to know what they're doing. Like they
Okay,
they're not making they're not tapping a Landmore Elf to find a forest out of their deck.
Yeah, I understand.
Right? Like they're doing fine, and what they're playing pretty strong stuff. Like they were talking about playing Kaikar, and one of them has the Tiamat deck.
Yeah.
Right? So like they're playing fairly stout stuff, which indicates to me that if they have a Tiamat deck, they're investing some dollars in too, because Tiamat isn't a cheap card.
No.
So like they're new to us. And I would also suggest kind of new to Magic as well.
Okay, this is what I'll say. I am encouraged to hear that at our own store, players who are less experienced than us are using the bracket system as part of Magic the Gathering Commander format's rules set. They've incorporated that into how they play the game, and I think that's a great step.
I am absolutely happy with that as well. I
That's
think
pretty freaking cool.
It's one of the things that once you get a hang of it, you're going to do really good with it, and it's going to help lead to more better games, I think,
Yes.
than especially the Rule Zero conversation did, because that was useless.
If they show up, well, Rule Zero alone, right? We're still having Rule Zero conversation. It's still a fetish for lots of people, right?
Useless.
See the CCO store to get your fetish sticker for sure. But to be able to have that conversation, have a rule set to do it with your friends, arms you with the confidence to go out and do it with people in the wild.
Yep.
Like, you know how to do it.
Yep.
And when you do it with people in the wild, it ain't a thing. And like, it's not a big deal.
Yep.
And it doesn't take an hour, and you don't have to read a dissertation and hope it be approved by a board of directors. Like, it's not, you don't need that.
Yeah.
It's
And if there's
15 seconds.
anybody in the conversation that wants that, because that was a thing I would run into, I can just say, look, it's a 3 because this, and this.
Yes. Done. Perfect.
That's it. If you want more information than that, now you're angle shooting me and you want too much deck information, sit down and shuffle your cards.
And yeah, throw down.
Yeah. I have no patience for that kind of bullshit.
Have you noticed, I guess if you haven't run into any other game changers, and over the last 2 weeks, you've only played with like people that you normally play with.
Yeah, the last couple of weeks have been a little bit less Brando out in the wild because Alex with his Ryan broken leg.
Yes.
I've been like, we save a spot for him. And so inevitably, like I say, hey, I'm saving a spot for Alex. So these two guys go sit over here. And these guys. So we'll
You play with Alex a lot because you're being a good friend.
Yeah, because I get there the soonest and he gets there the latest. So it just kind of works out. We're just the dude bros hang out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just played on an episode of Curbside Pickup with Gemstone Mine John, All Killer No Filler Miller,
Oh, my goodness.
Colton McCarthy,
What?
Jenny McCarthy's brother,
Oh, yeah.
and Gemstone Mine John.
Oh, yeah, you said that already.
Did I say that already?
Yep.
So nice to see it twice.
There it is.
Uh,
Yeah, you did say it twice.
I was there too.
You're the fourth one, Mike. You
Okay.
got it.
I guess
Yes.
if I was playing. And we had a little bit of a conversation, like, what are we playing? This is my thing. And I think I played Food Chain in that game. And that was before it was a game changer. So it was like, it was the morning. It was like a Saturday morning game. And then like the following Tuesday, it became a game changer.
Dang.
And I didn't win the game. So...
Well, you should be playing it better.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, do
So
better.
if you're into the fastest commander gameplay on YouTube, freaking check out CCO's Curbside Pickup. You can see me talk about how everybody that was playing any card was a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
And
usually it is.
okay, decks that you play, are any decks changing as a result of game changers? Are you letting this define how you build decks?
No, but
Okay. Okay.
I do think there might be some changes a coming to a couple of decks.
Changes be a coming?
I think so, because when we initially had the bracket system come out, we both sat down, looked at all of our decks. I have this many 2s. I have one really solid 1. I've got like maybe 2 5s and then like a bunch of 3s and 4s.
Sure.
I've gone up to 10 4s, and that's too many
because
of new game
changers. Okay, yeah.
And that's too many for me to justify in my, because I think I can sit down with Norin and I can say this deck isn't a 4, even though it has 2 more game changers in it now. So it goes from 2 to 4.
And before it was a 3, and you thought this fits right in the middle of how Commander should be played. We've got the mouth breathers over here and the CEDH killing laser beams over here.
Yep.
I'm kind of in the middle.
Yeah, I can do all the things. This is a stout deck. But now, like, if you click on it online, on my deck list, it's a solid 4.
On arcadeck.com, it says it's a 4.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And this is one of my notes, and one of the things that they wanted to make sure that they made a big deal of is, and for the record, nothing changed. Mm-hmm. No cards were printed. You're not playing any cards that were just unbanned in your mono red Norn deck. Like nothing changed in the list. But because more game changers exist now, your deck's a 4.
Yep.
I'll posit this because this is what they want. This is what the Commander format panel says that they want to emphasize is intention.
Yeah.
How do you intend to play this game? Do you intend to tell people it's a 4, but it's not that good, just so you can try and win more games playing in bracket 3 or, God forbid, bracket 2?
No. I'm going to tell people that it's a 3 and it has a blood moon in it.
So Blood Moon makes it a 4.
Yes, apparently.
Now, Blood Moon's a bad example because
it has a Ruination in it.
Blood Moon and Ruination aren't on the Game Changers list.
They're game changer categories, and we're going to get into that later in the show because I've decided that I do not agree with it. We have to do something about that.
Do you want to get into it now?
Yeah, let's do it.
We're talking about it now. Now, you say you don't agree with it. They're game changer categories, and what you mean is like multiple cheap tutors or mass land denial or extra turns or 2-card combos. Those are game changer. We're going to call those categories.
Yes.
That bump your deck up to 2 or 3 or 4.
Because the game changer list would be too long if it had every single extra turn spell on it.
And every single Stone Rain thing on it. Yeah, exactly.
Too freaking long.
Yeah, so you've got 2 land denial cards in your deck that also has 4 game changers.
Yes.
And you're positing that this deck is still a 3.
Yes.
Defend yourself, sir.
Well,
I crossed my arms off.
Play fucking basics and you'll be fine.
Okay.
That's the number one thing with the mass land denial.
I don't mind that.
And my game changers are meant to power out the ridiculous 5-cost spells that I'm playing.
Oh, yeah. 5-cost spells ridiculous.
If I'm ramping up into playing a Possibility Storm, which isn't a game changer, it's annoying, but it's not a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
Or ramping into trying to swing with an Atali before everybody's online so that they can kill my Atali or steal it and then kill me with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're there for. That's what it's doing there. Because red doesn't have a lot of ramp. So I play the game changers that let me get to playing my mid-game stuff in the early game.
Like Jeska's Will?
Nope.
Did that become a game changer?
Always was.
Okay. You don't play Jeska's
I don't play Jeska's
Okay, what do you play then?
I have...
Sure can't play Mana Crypt.
I can play Mana Vault, and I do.
Hey, that's a good one.
I got a Kirsten Zerngibble Masterpiece signed, so I got one.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
That's why I play that.
That's a pretty cool card.
And I got a Ancient Tomb.
That's pretty cool.
And I've got a Deflecting Swat. And I got a Gamble.
And Deflecting Swat and Gamble just got made game changers.
Yep. And the Deflecting Swat, let's be honest, I should probably cut.
You could cut that.
For the same reason I don't play Jeska's Will anymore is because when you play it, Norn goes away. So, like, the only time I can play Deflecting SWAT for free, which is why it's a game changer, is on the very first spell an opponent plays that targets my thing during their turn. If they attack or play something that I don't care about.
Your thing that isn't Norn.
Yes, I have to play the Deflecting SWAT for its mana cost.
Yes.
Unless it's a very specific set of circumstances. And
like if it's an activated ability, Norn isn't going to go away.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't exile himself when you activate an ability.
Right.
When somebody activates an ability.
Correct.
That card,
It's a really hard card to play.
yeah, I assume that you have one that has alternate art or otherwise doesn't look like a magic card
That is correct.
because that's the theme of the deck.
Yep.
I would say, Uncle Brando, your problem is solved in quite an easy way. You take this card that the format as a whole seems to have a little bit of trouble with placing as in terms of power level,
Right.
in deflecting twat.
Okay.
And also in your deck, not that good.
Are you saying I should have a mountain instead?
You could cut it. And you know what mountain doesn't interact in a negative way with your blood moon.
That's right.
You could make that cut, thereby solving your problem where you say, I have this deck that's a 3, and it was more of a 3 before the recent game changer changes.
Yep.
Now it's a 3 still, but it has 2 land denial cards that, if you're new or budget or playing precons that have lots of basics,
Aren't going to be impacted by at all.
yes. And you could go even further and say, if you're playing the game changer lands, you're going to have a tough time against my deck with its game changer category cards that are designed specifically to deal with problematic game changer lands.
That's right.
And then it kind of feels like you've got this thing that fits in all the places it ought to, and where it doesn't, in the land denial category,
Yes.
you can say, this is the cards, here's the 2 cards, and this is the reason.
Let's use some other deck
Okay,
examples.
sure. What else you know?
Maybe Norin is a bad example. Lots of people played against Norin. They go, oh my God, this deck is crazy.
I think it's a fucking great example.
Let's talk about one that is definitely not a 4, but is a 4, not because of game changers, but because of the game-changing category.
Okay.
Specifically, again, the land denial card.
Okay.
Obeka 2. That's
Obeka
the
2.
multiple upkeep step Obeka.
Equal to how much damage she does, right?
Get that many upkeeps post-combat.
Yes.
It is a 4.
Okay.
It is a 4 because it plays a Rising Tide in it.
Rising Tide.
That's an enchantment for blue 3.
Mm-hmm.
Players can't untap land.
Okay.
At the beginning of each player's upkeep, untap 1 land.
Okay.
So I play it, I swing in, I get 6 upkeeps, I untap all my land in addition to all of the upkeeps other upkeep stuff that I'm doing.
Yes.
And it slows my opponents down. That 1 card takes the deck from being a 2, because it's not playing any tutors or any game changers,
Yeah.
and turns it into a 4. And I don't think that is correct. I don't think that should be a thing.
You know what?
Because yes, Rising Waters or Rising Tide or whatever the hell it is like, it's a nasty piece of business to have to deal with.
Yeah, it's like Winter Orb that you can break the symmetry on with your commander.
Exactly.
How much does it cost to cast?
4.
4, and Obeka costs 5 or 6?
4.
No, she's 3 color.
Yeah.
Which
4.
which would allow her to be costed at 4. Yes,
Yes.
Ryan. Math.
Yes.
Yep.
Math is important.
Yep.
So yes. So like I can play Obeka, Rising Waters, swing with Obeka, untap some land.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to start having a rougher time. But I don't think that makes the deck a 4. I just don't. Like when you look at the list, it says this is a 4. Why the fuck is this a 4? Because you play a single piece of land denial, and I just don't think that's. I think that's doing a disservice to players. Me and Aiden have the conversation all the time. Like people should play. If you got a wasteland, play it. If you got a tech edge, play it, because there's super powerful lands out there, and people are afraid to do stuff to stop it.
Well, Tech Edge, Wasteland, and Strip Mine, those aren't mass land destruction.
No.
I could if that's the case, I could play Stone Rain. That's not mass land destruction, right? So the upgraded and core and exhibition brackets 1 and 2 and 3, say no mass land denial. None.
0.
None.
0.
And I've heard this and thought about this when I was going to get my DP, my Diet Pepsi, from the car.
Okay.
I thought, I'm sure it's been talked about, because there's a lot of smart people on the Commander format panel and a lot of game designers from WotC who it's their actual
For sure, yeah.
salary job to think about this, so people don't quit playing Magic.
They get paid every day to answer the question that I'm
wonder-
asking right now of why.
And how much is more specifically,
Yeah.
because they're not saying, no, this card's banned.
Yeah.
It's just, don't play it at this level.
It's more powerful than any game changer. It's more powerful than any 3 game changers.
Because, that's a way to look at it.
'Cause I
can play 0 of this category of card,
Yeah.
even though I can play
Up to 3.
up to 3 free counter spells in Fierce Guardianship, Deflecting Twat, and Force of Will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I never thought of it that way. This is what I was going to say. I went out to get my Diet Pepsi, my DP, as we call it in the nation. And I thought, I wonder if anybody's thought about number of game changers in deck equal to category that they're in. Like,
they can get 1 and 1.
yeah,
2
like
and
my,
2,
what
3
if,
and
what if my theme deck needs, because of a theme, maybe in the art, or
Sure.
all of the art is done by one artist, maybe I need a Teferi's Protection in
Sure.
my exhibition deck. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a Teferi deck. Hey, there's a good example.
Yeah,
It's a Teferi deck.
that's a great example of what would be an exhibition deck that people would go, oh, cool. 'Cause it's going to be a white-blue control deck, and everybody's going to fucking hate it.
Yeah, but pretend that it's not.
Yeah.
Pretend it's not.
But that is one that this is an exhibition deck, just
Yep.
like Bello.
Yeah, okay, so my exhibition deck is bracket level 1. It's the entry level in terms of power to the format.
Right.
Fuck, that's not even right.
That's
No.
2.
Yeah. Okay, pretend I didn't say that. It's a 1. It gets 1 game changer.
Yes.
My core deck gets 2 game changers.
I like that because now that they're putting game changers kind of as they add them, if they said that you can have 2 in core, then people wouldn't be going, you guys put Seedborn Muse in a precon.
Yeah. They know that and they acknowledge that and they say it's about intention and that was built before this was built. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. 3 in 3,
Yep.
like always.
We have now.
4 in 4, or more or less.
Yeah.
It's about intention, but we're looking for hard and fast rules to help us govern intention,
Yep.
right? And then 5 is just bullshit. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
5 you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. I don't hate that, but at the same time, they've made rules that say no mass land denial, no 2-card combos, no cheap tutors, no chaining extra turns in things lower than
4.
in 4 and some in 3, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, do we want to completely abstain from all of that kind of stuff? Or do we want to let, and this is the slippery slope, do we want to let intention take over and say, you could have 2 game changers in your core, bracket 2. You could have 2 cards from this category in your
Sure.
deck. And if you do that, theoretically, you could have 2 cards that aren't game changers that do combo together to win you the game. A 2-card combo that aren't game changers, that you can't tutor for or aren't tutors, right? So all of a sudden you're opening the door. Oh, I've picked 2 cards that maybe are, one of them's a mass land denial card. So
Right.
I can have that, but it also combos, 2-card combos with something. And now I'm breaking 2 of the bracket rules.
Yeah.
And-
Although now you're breaking the other bracket rule and out you go.
Well, and that's the thing. How do we make it as clean and simple as possible without people getting their deck turned into a 4 when it's actually a 2 or a 3 because they play a Blood Moon?
Yeah.
Right?
Those are the ones that kind of get me. And here's the one that, another example kind of the why is this where it is? Because Obeka 2,
Mhm.
1 card from 1 category, it's a 4, when it probably should be a 2. That deck isn't very good. I'm probably going to take it apart. Obeka 1. Obeka 1 has not less than 6 or maybe 7 extra turn spells.
Ooh.
And 2
Dear.
spells that end my opponent's turns.
Thus taking away their
Thus-
untaps and their agency and all that stuff. You could compare Time Stop to Seedborn Muse in that you're taking all of the time.
Watch some old Sidewalk Slam. You'll see me time stop Ben. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's actually hilarious.
It's the
Whirlwind
funniest thing.
between the legs dunk.
Oh, so good.
He's so good. I wish it happened to me.
Me too.
I wish that.
Someday.
But I'm happy for it to happen to Ben because fuck that guy.
That deck, 3. And it's got like 9 or 10 extra turn spells in it.
You know what's
2.
funny?
And it's-
Time Stop's a weird one because Time Stop isn't okay. If
It's
we're
not very good.
well, if we're playing 1v1, Time Stop is an extra turn spell.
Yeah.
That I just end your turn. I'd take another one. Fuck you.
Yep.
In a 4-player game, though, it's like 33% of an extra turn.
Yeah.
So it's like you're rounding down. It ain't an extra turn spell. It's kind of like a counter spell.
Yeah.
Or a fog.
It's a really, really good counterspell.
A really good counterspell, or a really good fog, or a really good Teferi's protection, maybe, or a really bad Teferi's protection, I guess. And in all of those cases, it costs 5.
6.
Fuck. Yeah. It costs 6, right? So is it actually that good?
No.
And
it's just fun. And it has Obeka on it. That's why I play it.
And it's a weird one because it isn't quite an extra turn spell. It isn't quite a counter spell. It's certainly powerful and can act like those things. That's a weird one. Time Stop is a weird one.
It's a strange card.
And maybe we have to accept and again lean back onto our experience and our intention and read the fucking room, boys. Like, read the room.
Yeah.
About my 2 that's actually a 4 because it runs a land denial spell, and just include that in our fetishized Rule 0 zipper mask conversation.
Yeah, and that's what I do with Obeka. It's like they say it's, if you look it up, it's a 4 because I play a Rising Waters. And I'm not cutting it.
Not cutting it because fuck yeah.
Because I fucking want to play it. It's the only deck I'll ever play it in.
And you know what? I think that that's fine because you're upfront about it, because everything else in the world with regards to you in that deck is like on like even ground.
That's on the level. It's just,
like you nuts are to the wind and it's like, here they are.
Yep.
Whoa.
But Obeka 1, not like it's not a 4. And it certainly chains extra turns because the extra turn spells in it cost fucking 2. They're basically Time Walk.
How do you do that?
Because I play Final Fortune.
Final Fortune.
Which take an extra turn after this one, then you lose at the end. But
yeah.
That's why I play Obeka.
Do those count as chaining extra turns? I think that they do.
Well, when I go, I'll take an extra turn after this one, and then I take that turn, and I say, oh, I'm going to do that again, and I do it again. And
that's definitely chaining extra turns.
That's chaining extra turns.
Yeah.
I've certainly taken 4 or 5 turns in a row in that deck.
And you're saying that deck's a 2?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No. I'm saying that's the one that they should be upgrading because it has such a high density. 10% of the deck is me taking extra turns.
And
it's a 3.
Does Arcadeck.com not count Final Fortune as extra turn?
Guess not. I guess not.
Did we find a loophole?
We might have.
Final Fortune and Time Stop, both not extra turn spells on Arcadeck.com?
Correct.
Oh, man.
And the other 3 Final Fortunes, or 2 Final Fortunes, where the hell they are. I can't
Warrior's Demise? Final Fortune, Warrior's Demise, Fatal End?
Maybe? Fatal Push.
Nope.
Time Stop. Grim Lava Gamble.
Red.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where we're at.
But those are the examples that I have of where it's just like the brackets are being applied kind of, and maybe it's just the website that I'm using.
Yeah, could be.
It's applied strangely, and I think that having just a category that immediately makes your deck, air quotes, better than it is, I think could become over time a problem. And now, when everything is still in its infancy and it's still evolving, I feel like maybe now is the time to apply nuance to it. And if you just straight up ban mass land denial in games it can only be 4 and above, I think that lots of newer players are going to kind of come up having never experienced that. And because it only exists at 4 and 5, they're going to be discouraged from trying to play in a 4 or a 5 because they think it's all stacks decks and turn 3 I win combos. And that's not true. We've all played CEDH, I would venture a guess, and I'll bet you we've all played in a really, really high-powered game of Magic the Gathering. And I would say less than half the time you run into those things. Except when you're playing CEDH, it's a different animal. That's not what I'm talking about. And even there, you don't run into tons of stacks decks.
Yeah, you could say we've all played up to what would be the floor of CEDH, the ceiling, the very highest end of bracket 4 in the, what do they call bracket 4 again? Optimized.
Yeah, like
bracket.
You see all the Thoracle combos above and you're looking at the glass trying to get through.
Yeah.
But you don't, because You don't want to play blue and red blast in your deck?
Talk about a game changer. Huh?
Right?
Rhetorical? Yeah, no. Yeah, Stifle.
Yeah, nicely done. Fuck
Stifle's
face.
good. Man, I
Stifle's
got to
such
play
a
more
good card.
Stifles in decks.
I want to see Void Slime more often. I know that it's not very good.
I got
these
Void
days.
Slime the other day.
I love Void Slime. I love that card.
I
man.
got Void Slimed the other frickin' day. I was not happy.
Nor should you be. You got Void Slimed, man. That's awesome. That should be a typal ooze card.
I
I'm
got
telling you.
slimed. Okay, let's keep going. I think we're making some headway here. Intention, important.
Very important.
And maybe the really smart coders and engineers at Architect and Space Cow Media can be like, hey, maybe we could put like is this accurate checkbox or drop down menu like for your Obeka deck that's a 2 or your Norn deck that's a 3.
Yeah.
Theoretically, according to frickin' you, or not theoretically, and say like we want your deck to look or present like a 4. Is this accurate? You can say no, it's a 3.
Yeah.
Or this deck technically is a 4, but user has declared it 3. And like I don't know what that does. It's not like people are looking up your deck list when you sit down with them at a Magic Con.
Yeah, I've
Right?
only had that happen one time.
Really?
It did happen once, but the reason it happened is because I was playing my Atraxa deck.
Yeah.
And you've seen my Atraxa deck, like the physical cards I play.
Oh
are just,
yeah, they're all
It's
textless. And,
fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
And the guy was like, this deck looks insane. And he was like, can I see it? Like he didn't want to look through it because we're playing. So like in between turns, he was like scrolling through my deck
through
list
your
on his
list.
phone.
Yeah.
Which I mean is like, well, now he knows everything in my deck. But who fucking
Who cares? It's an Atraxa
Yeah.
deck. I'm pretty sure he can go to EDH and
Yeah.
find 90% of what you're playing. Which isn't a slight against you. What I mean is it's easy to go and say, hey, which cards would be fucking good in Atraxa?
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's playing this card. Oh, what cards see play with that card on EDHrec.com? And like you could do some detective work.
And he was going through and he's like, why are you playing? He's like,
Yeah.
well, it's a Predator and I have a crazy one. Like, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. New game changers.
New game changers.
You've had some experience with new game changers.
Yep, I had one in my hand. That is the truth. See yesterday's pre-show if you want to hear the story.
Yep. Do you think that the addition to the game changers is good, bad? And I'll get a little bit more granular. Is in the way that do you think the old list when it was 40, like the original 40, do you think that they were pulling their weight? Yes or no? Are they now? Yes or no? Is it better? Is it worse?
I think the initial list, and we talked about this last week. I think it was intentionally small.
Your conspiracy, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, in order to test the waters to see if a list like this would fly. And then when it did, as it should have, because I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't hate that though. Like if that's
Send up a trial balloon, man. That's
exactly, you're calling it a conspiracy. Yeah. I think
no, I was calling myself a conspiracist because people are like, Brando, they're not going to do that. But
yeah. I think it's fine to send out a small list to say, hey, like, is this something that people are even receptive to? And then all the feedback that they claimed they got was, man, we want more of this. Give us more. And they're like, oh, fuck, we had all these other cards in mind anyways.
Yeah, we were already doing that. And then they did it. And again, it makes everybody look and feel good about what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So awesome. And I think that the list, again, is better than the old list because it is more comprehensive. I think it's still missing a couple of things. I guess we can talk about this in a second. I think that what the hell was it? I talked about it in the story also because it gets you 2 creatures and it's an enchantment and it's green.
Defense of the Heart.
Defense of the Heart, I think, should be a game changer. I would argue that it should be.
And it would be a game changer in the same vein that Natural Order, Worldly Tutor are game changers. It wouldn't be a game changer because it costs 4 and Diabolic Tutor isn't a game changer. Tooth and Nail, not a game changer. Gets 2 creatures right into play, just like Defense of the Heart. Gets 2 creatures right into play, but you got to wait a turn for it to happen. Yeah. So, like, I could see why it would be and why it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I can certainly see the argue against. It's just, I'm trying. I was like, again, watch the story yesterday. I was trying to play it fairly, and I ended up Genesis waving for fucking 90.
That's good.
Like, you can do some crazy shit with it. I played an Atraxa as well so that I can find the Sludge Monster and Toxrill. so that I can kill all of your dudes immediately, forever. Right? Like, the next thing I wanted to do with it was find Opposition Agent and Marilyn Mornsong. I wanted to cut Toxrill and just because
Opposition Agent means you control what they tutor for and you can play it.
Yep.
And Marilyn Mornsong says skip your draw step, tutor for a card instead.
It's not skip your draw step, it's you can't draw cards.
Oh yeah, you can't draw cards. Yeah.
So like anytime anybody goes to draw a card, they lose 3 life and I tutor their deck and play the card.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Defense of the Heart can do some fucking shit. And I
Yes.
think that it should probably be a game changer because of that. I don't know any other cards off the top of my head, but I think the list as it sits right now is very good with, again, the aforementioned tweaks I think they should make to those like category things. Mass land denial and extra turn chaining maybe could use a little bit of finessing. But, I mean, overall, I think that given that it's still in its infancy, I think that it's doing a very good job. And I think because I've seen people using it and I've used it, I think it's doing exactly what we needed it to do personally.
Huh, there you go. I'm reminded of Weird Harvest. It's a X spell. It's a sorcery, costs green X, green XX, and it's each player searches for X creatures, puts them into their hand.
Okay.
So you could just go like green whatever and search, like everybody searches for 2 guys and you get them into your hand. I'm reminded of Shared Summons. Green 3 instant, mind you. Instant. Search your library for 2 creatures, put them into your hand. They got to have different names though. Like that's hard in
Commander.
I'm not going to put it in my Persistent Petitioner's deck.
It won't go into 7 dwarves either.
No.
But here's the thing with those.
Yeah.
They go to your hand.
Correct.
With Defense of the Heart, they go right into play. And people say, why does it only cost 4? What is happening? It's an enchantment for green 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls 3 or more creatures, you sack Defense of the Heart, search your library for 2 dudes, any 2 dudes, and put them into play.
It's only like $11.
Again, just because a card is expensive or cheap, it doesn't make it any less, more or less powerful.
No.
The price tag doesn't mean anything.
Correct. Yeah,
and it's so good, especially like if you're playing a token deck or
I don't
somebody
know
just
if it
happens
is,
to
though.
have 3 dudes. Like it's so good, and it can break a game open so quickly in any deck that can play it. You know what I mean? Like it would be very easy to find anything and a Crater Hoof if you wanted to.
Oh yeah, Crater Hoof. Good.
You could find Graz, the ultimate Juggernaut, and a Crater Hoof at the same time.
Make all my guys 5/3 Juggernauts that can't block, and then give them +X and trample, where X is the number of creatures I control.
Yes, and they can't be blocked by walls. That came in handy yesterday when I was attacking into a wall of defenders, and lots of them were walls, and none of them could block by Juggernauts.
You were attacking into a wall of defenders?
Yes.
And some of them were walls.
Yes, and they couldn't block because Juggernaut. They're the Juggernaut, bitch! Right? It's awesome.
Oh, man. Okay, Defense of the Heart, I could see a case for it, but
I would make the case that maybe it should be there.
If that went on, I would say, oh, really? That feels kind of soft, because I think it does, because it allows you to, like, you have to have a whole turn of the table.
Right.
Like a whole round of the table, and other things that require rounds of the table to be good. And I'm drawing a blank now. I can't think of any.
Smothering Tithe?
Smothering Tithe is a good one. Yeah. Is a game changer.
Yep.
I guess so.
Remember when Smothering Tithe was first printed, you and I went back and forth on it lots. Like, is this even a good card? And you said, I don't think it's that good. And I said, I think this is fucking really good.
You know what? And then in 2019, I made it my #1 card of the year. Frick. You know what? I'm sticking to it. Producer Gary's laughing at me. I said it wasn't that good. And my logic as to why it's not that good is still sound. My logic is sound.
In principle. In practice,
if Smothering Tithe came off the Game Changers list, though, I'd say, oh yeah, I get it.
When that first article...
Hold on a second. Just hold on a frickin' second.
Okay.
Okay. Months ago, when we first started talking about this, and I said, how come not Notion Thief? And how come Hull Breacher's banned? And how come not Opposition Agent? And all this other stuff. And everybody's like, Ryan, you're so stupid. Cards in hand aren't as good as treasure on the table. And I disagree.
What?
Like, fucking...
Who said that?
I don't know, commenters on YouTube, they're smarter than I am, aren't they?
No, apparently not.
Obviously, they don't play Legacy either if they think that cards in hand aren't fucking better than treasures on the table. I say unban Hull Breacher, and everybody's like, oh my God, no. And I say make Notion Thief almost the exact same fucking card, make it a game changer or ban it, and everybody's like, oh my God, no, you're so stupid, right? And man,
What?
I'm applying that same kind of logic to like what's better, cards in hand, mana on the table, or potential resource denial along with mana advantage in Smothering Tithe after I spend 4 fucking mana and don't have a creature. Like Smothering Tithe could be banned or could be off the game changers list in my mind.
I think so too.
If Hull Breacher is banned, Smothering Tithe can take a hike too. And if Notion Thief isn't on the game changers list or isn't banned, Smothering Tithe doesn't need to be there either. But here we are, Notion Thief and Smothering Tithe both on the game changers list. So it's like, I guess all energy in the universe is equal or some shit.
Sure.
Unban Hull Breacher. I said it.
I wouldn't hate that. I have some.
I have one.
I have 3.
It got banned and I took it out of a deck. And here's another good indicator that I've kind of warmed up to this idea. As an enfranchised and exclusive commander player, only commander. I don't play Legacy. I play very little limited, limited, if you will.
Yeah, limited can fuck off.
I wasn't sad when Hull Breacher got banned.
Me either.
I was sad when Jeweled Lotus got banned. And I know we're not talking about Jeweled Lotus, but it is an indicator. Would I be sad if Defense of the Heart got banned? No. But I'd have an emotional reaction to that saying like, what the fuck?
Why?
And that's the same emotional reaction to Jeweled Lotus being banned, but the opposite direction, right?
Yeah.
And if I'm that polar in either direction, I don't think it should be banned or
That's
on
fair.
the game changers list. Like, oh my God, no, what are you talking about? Or, oh my God, no, what are you talking about? Either way.
And of course, we're not talking about banning Defense of the Heart.
No,
We're talking
absolutely
about
not.
putting it on the game changers list.
No, but I'm comparing it in the same vein and at the same mana altitude as something like Smothering Tithe.
Yeah.
And like Hull Breacher and Notion Thief.
I would say it changes games as much as a Smothering Tithe. I would say that. And again, I think that Smothering Tithe on the game changers list is kind of soft. I think that it's probably shouldn't be there. And I'm the one that argued that the card was really fucking good, but I don't think it's that good.
I think that Defense of the Heart's even softer because I don't get anything out of Defense of the Heart on player 2 or 3 or 4's turn like I do with Smothering Tithe.
Yes.
I do get something if you don't pay. I do get something if you do pay because
Yeah.
you're like, I get something either way.
That's my argument. You win no matter what with Smothering
You win
Tithe.
no matter what. And
Whereas Defense of the Heart is you win if you get back to your turn.
yeah, what if I have Defense of the Heart and you go Wrath of God? I go, oh,
Yeah, and then you just
fucking time walk myself.
Although I've been in those games where like, yeah, you go Defense of the Heart, and then somebody goes, oh, Wrath of God, and you're like, idiot. Try rebuilding, and then you just like you're amassing, and they're afraid to go above 3 creatures because of what
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Right? So I've seen those games. I've seen it.
That's resource management, and
I've
that's
seen
magic.
it change a game of Magic the Gathering. Right? That's
Well, yeah, you could argue that any card changes a game of Magic.
that's true. But game changers are the ones that you're supposed to play around, right? Like they change the game in that game revolves around like a primeval titan.
Bro,
You
I
play
got
around
2
it.
islands untapped. You're playing around that.
Yeah.
How come islands aren't banned?
Because islands aren't what's doing it. The counterspell is. And banning counterspells is outrageous. Putting counterspells on the game changers list is outrageous. But here we are.
But free ones.
Fuck free ones.
Oh yeah, you think that's soft
none,
too?
none of them are free.
I suppose
None
none
of
them are
those
free.
cards specifically say free counter. None of them. None of them. The best one of them all, Force of Will, requires you to pay a life, whatever it's a fucking life, and a specific blue card out of your hand.
When did you become me?
I've always been you.
Huh? You're Rando and I'm Brian?
I know,
this
right?
Is DDO?
I don't have an issue with free
You've come a
counters
long
as-
way, sir.
Like, I am perfectly aware that the free counter spell is like the backbone of what makes Legacy one of the most biggest formats that exist. That's why it is what it is.
Formerly the biggest format.
Force of Will defined a format for its entire existence.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think that it would define a format like Commander in the same way. Because one counterspell in most cases isn't going to
Oh, no, of course it doesn't.
blow a game up. It's not. And I don't think that having all the free counters on there is, I think it's kind of spineless, if I'm honest, because it's people getting fucking butthurt that you couldn't blow up my 7-mana commander. It's like,
Did they put Mana Drain on the Game Changers list?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet. He goes,
They will.
"Not
They
yet.
will.
Not
It'll
yet.
be on there.
It's free, but my opponent has to cast something that costs more than 2.
Exactly. But
Yeah,
it will be.
You think?
It will be.
Do you think that they'll take Force of Will off?
No.
Because they were talking about that.
No.
No?
No, they won't.
You don't do the swapper? The frickin' the Eiffel Tower tag team, whatever you call it?
Nope. The space dock, they will not.
No?
They will not.
I think that they do.
They will not dock them. I don't think they will.
I want frickin'
As much as I just said, I think that the Game Changers list is great, and it is, and I think it does its job, and it does. I think that there are some cards on there because salt. I think that some people are salty about certain cards, and that's why they're on there.
Ooh.
That's why Gaia's Cradle is on there, but the creature that's a Gaia's Cradle is not. Or the other card that flips over into a better Gaia's Cradle and puts a creature into your hand.
Yeah, but they're slow.
Is not.
They're slow. They don't happen on turn 1 of the land. I'm not arguing about Game Changer. I just thought of this.
Gaia's Cradle on turn 1 is a bad play because you don't have a creature.
What if I play all the 0-drop Cheerio creatures, Brando?
Then your deck is stupid. And so are you. Then you're an idiot.
Do you think...
I'm not afraid of you.
Do you think... Okay, when you say somebody's butthurt, that's why free counter spells are on the Game Changers list.
I think. Strictly my opinion.
I don't think that there's anybody on the Commander format panel or internally in WotC who has a hand in this decision, Game Changers decision. Sure. I don't think that anybody is that short-sighted.
You don't think?
Just to say, oh, I've been blown out in Commander by Force of Will too many times. For like, I don't think that like anybody is that naive.
That's literally why they banned Jewel Lotus. That's
okay.
That's the reason.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Let's stay off of Jewel Lotus for a minute.
Okay.
Do you think that, and this is dangerous territory to get into when arguing.
Oh.
Do you think that they think players don't like that? Does the Commander format panel and WotC think people don't like to play against Force of Will?
Yes.
I love playing against Force of Will.
Yeah,
Am I the oddity?
No, we do. I think that established players and players, once they gain enough experience, once they've had the do the thing phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody loves to do the thing.
Yeah, the do the thing phase is the phase, I think, where you have the most trouble with Force of Will and its friends.
Precisely. And then once you've moved up, like, okay, I'm leveling up my game a little bit.
I've cast Tiamat Dragonstorm like 100 times.
Yeah. It's time for me to move into the 4 bracket where I have to worry about mana denial and extra turn chaining and all that stuff.
And I know that it's going to happen because that's Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, and in situations like that, I think that players eventually come to a point where they're looking for a game that has those really sneaky interactions that you have to play around.
Mm-hmm.
How many cards do you have in your hand? Asking how many cards you have in your hand is the same as looking at somebody's board state and seeing they have 2 open islands. It's the same thing because you're playing around the exact same card. And I think that there's a point where an established player who's played for a long time, looks for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that, I'm not saying about the panel, but I am saying maybe a little bit if there's WotC influence on the panel, I would suggest that they would prefer to cater to the I want to do the thing crowd because that's who they're printing cards for right now. That's why Draco Genesis and stuff exists, right?
For sure. You could infer that there are more people in Magic because it's boomed over the last 4 years. There's more people in Magic with less than 4 years experience than there are people with more than 4 years experience. Now, is it 4 years? Is it 5 years? Is it 2 years? I don't know. Yeah. I'm just picking a number and just saying there's more people with less experience than there are people with more experience.
Sure.
Arbitrary. And if that's the player base that WotC's making cards for, and that's the direction the game is heading in because they want it to grow, and as Magic players, theoretically, we should want it to grow too. We are firm believers in this.
Yes, I want the game to grow as big as it can be because I love it and I want everybody to play it.
Exactly.
I want Maggie to play it. I want Gary to play it. I want everybody to play this game. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Gary could play. Maggie could though. If we want that, we have to be on board with this.
Yep.
But maybe our interest is not the exact same thing as what the Commander format panel and WotC assume the general player base's interest is. And I will say this too. I just listened to the Command Zone the other day. Rachel and Josh LaCroix were talking about like, this was our information that we presented and we advocated for. WotC takes it and makes the decision. So that's coming right from the horse's mouth. Like there are inside WotC decisions that have nothing to do with the outside Commander format panel input.
Of course.
It's their game. It's their sandbox. And we just all play in it.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to say this for anybody from WotC listening.
And we know you're there. We love you guys, by the way. You do a hard job. And nobody should ever threaten to kill you or your family.
No.
Public service message to everybody out there.
Also, Magic players like playing against free counter spells. I'm saying that. And saying it with a not straight face makes it like I'm joking and it's not true.
But it is true.
But it's true.
There is a level where I firmly believe that people look for it.
And look for it and liking it. Different things though. And the other thing about it is nobody's ever going to say that they like it. It's like the random guy who likes feet. Nobody's going to admit that they like feet. You're either tits or ass.
Unless you're in the nation, in which case it's totally fine. We're not going to shame you. And if you're somebody that likes...
I still haven't ran into anybody.
And I'll bet you we know somebody.
Playing against free counter spells is like playing against the guy who likes feet.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't have to admit it because I just did it for you. Not that I like feet. See? Trapped myself. I fucking trapped myself.
It's like, it's just adding an extra layer of complexity to the game. And if you want to have free counter spells on the game changer list, just make them a category like mass land denial.
Oh, I like that idea.
Right?
That's a good idea.
If it's the
free counter spells are their own category.
Yeah.
They're not game changers.
Yeah, and I would suggest that would be a better
that fucking
positioning
doesn't do
of
it.
them.
That doesn't do it. That just puts them in brackets 4 now.
Yeah.
Instead of in bracket 3, I could play 3 of them.
Yeah.
I suppose I could play 3 of them in 3 and 3 of them in 4.
4 of them in 4.
I can't play any of them in 2, whether they're game changers or not.
Well, you can't now.
You're right.
You can't now anyway.
I could play foil.
That's true.
I could play Daze.
Also true.
Fuck, I got hard cast Dazed one time. F.U. Joel was playing my deck and dazed me with my own shit. Fucking terrible. See? Terrible playing against free counter spells.
See, but
only when it was my own though.
But it makes you a better player, and it and I hate to say that because it sounds like I'm condescending, and I'm not. It's an extra level of complexity to a very complex game, and I think that at a certain level, people are looking to get into that environment, and that's where the free counter spells live. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't play them in fucking 2.
No.
If you have a 1 where every spell counters a spell deck, no.
Every spell's free theme deck. Everything's a 0 drop. That deck would be a good deck to have your Gaia's Cradle in. Your one game changer if you get one. And then you take the free counter spells off. Like Mac Attack, he's got...
you wouldn't even need land. Everything's free.
Hell yeah. Only MDFCs. We built that deck, Zero Land deck.
Sure
Look it up on the Commander Cookout YouTube channel.
Yes, we did.
Mac Attack has a deck. Every card has something to do with 1.
Yep.
I want to make the deck everything has something to do with 0.
Yep.
Put my Gaia's Cradle in it.
You know what you could do with that, though? You could just play the biggest, beefiest, strongest beaters. And they go, what the hell does that have to do with 0? Because it makes your life total 0. Right? You can justify anything with a good intention.
Oh,
yeah, baby.
yes.
Full circle. We
there
did it.
We
did it. Mm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is what I've come to realize.
Okay.
So we don't get too long in the tooth. Producer Gary falls asleep.
Okay.
Okay.
He's wired.
17 cups of coffee. He's peed and pooped like 6 times today.
Yeah. Since he's been in...
3 times in the toilet even, yep. Defense of the Heart, ban it. That's what I heard from you.
Game changer.
No, ban it.
Straight ban it? Oh. But then I'd have to change my deck.
Mass Land Denial, completely okay. Play all of it that you want. Gaia's Cradle and all of the things that do Gaia's Cradle stuff, except for Gaia's Cradle,
Right.
ban them all. Except for Gaia's Cradle. Ban it, but don't.
All right.
Don't ban it.
Sure.
Okay.
Right.
That was completely clear, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yep. Notion Thief, far less powerful than Hull Breacher,
Absolutely.
except for when I have a whole bunch of cards in my hand. Then Hull Breacher is more powerful, but I need them for Notion Thief. So unban both of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Actually ban Notion Thief and unban Hull Breacher. That was totally clear, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Jeweled Lotus,
Yep.
definitely unban that.
Yes.
That one was clear.
Yeah, that is
was
very
clear, right? Okay.
We've been very clear on that. Yes.
Okay. Everything else, yeah, good intentions or bad intentions, as long as you have intentions.
Yeah, as long as
you have intentions.
even if you have bad intentions, just say that.
Actually, yeah, that's great for chaos decks.
This is my deck that's designed to make you scoop.
Actually, yes.
Just say that to somebody and see what they
have-
say to you.
I have had people say that to me. And you know what? That's better than playing your Chaos Warp and your Confusion in the ranks and your Warp World and your this and your that and
Stop
your this.
describing my Norn deck. Stop it.
Well, no, yeah, but it's not that bad because it wins.
I know.
Because it actually frickin' wins.
Yes.
Okay. And I've been sitting and playing Magic for 25 minutes and I've had my lands tapped and blown up and confused and ranked and warped and worlded. And it's like, how does your deck win? Oh, I don't know. I just hope my opponent scoops. Actually, we've all sat down, or anybody who's got some experience playing Magic, lowercase, capital E experience, playing Magic, has had that experience.
We have, yes.
And I would rather somebody sit down and tell me that that's their intention, so I can just say,
Yeah, I don't
there's 5,000 other Magic players sitting behind me waiting to play at MagicCon Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do that with somebody else. Yeah. And I don't care if you're playing a bracket 2 that has mass land denial and 2 card extra combo turn jerk off commander. I don't care. I just want to play.
Yep.
I don't know. That kind of seems like a low note to end on.
No, man, that's one of the agency. Intention is when you're building decks, but remember, regardless of somebody else's intention, you have the agency to say, I'm not into that.
Oh.
You can just, I don't want to do that. And if they insist, then you can off. There's hundreds more Magic players out there that you can go play with. Go play with them.
Mm-hmm. Or
vote with your feet.
Especially the foot people out there.
Yeah.
For anybody who comes back to that and says, well, I don't have a local game store. I only have one play group. I don't know what to do. Literally play online. You could, worst case scenario, play Brawl on Arena.
Oh my God, that
it has to be the worst case scenario. But if you have a webcam or a cell phone, you could play on Spell Table and find literally like the Commander Discord or the Magic the Gathering Discord. Or if you join our Patreon, you can play with us. There's a whole bunch of places to play online. And then you can do what we just described, which is have the agency to say no.
Yeah. And I mean,
cool.
if your buddy, we did a whole episode.
Did we?
On if you have a buddy that's the fucking griefer, what do you do with him? You pound him into the dirt until he stops it.
Yes.
Because 3 people escalating against 1 in Magic will work.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, don't do that.
Yeah,
that's very cruel. But in Magic, grind them into dog meat until they figure out, wait, maybe I'm the problem. And then
grind them into dog meat.
Right?
That's it. Yeah. If I wanted
That's
to get
what good friends do.
If I wanted to get dog meat the card, where would I go and do it?
I'll bet you'd have a really good chance of finding it at fusiongamingonline.com, and you could pay less for it by using special promo code CCONation. Save yourself 5% off that. Your game changers, your things that should be game changers, your extra turns, your mass land denial, and all your Final Fantasy needs coming up.
Yeah.
And you're gonna need it.
Here's the thing. When they unban Hull Breacher and print it in Final Fantasy, you could get it there.
Oh my God.
Oh man, I hope they put banned and commander cards into Final Fantasy just to troll you.
Oh,
I hope you open up Final Fantasy Hull Breacher.
Me too.
And Jeweled Lotus. What if they put it in there? Because they were like, oh yeah, it wasn't banned when we printed the set. Oh, I hope that happens.
The 1 of 1, the 4 crystals, but it's a Jeweled Lotus.
Ooh.
It's the 4 crystals 1 of 1.
I
Would
don't know
Post
what
Malone
that
still give me
means.
$2 million for it?
I hope so.
Because it was 1 of 1?
I hope so.
He would, hey?
I hope so.
Definitely would. He's Post Malone. That's what he does. Speaking of Vegas and Post Malone, I think he's playing there this weekend. That's fun.
Cool.
So if you're down there, you probably should have gone and seen him. The moral of the story is you should check out fusiongamingonline.com. Thanks for being here on Commander Cookout Podcast. Grab yourself a pile of bones, and we are going to be back next week with another super exciting episode of Commander Cookout Podcast. Hit our theme song!